Mad Milkman's pumping away, and here we are going live. He's
Just
at the
15
gym.
more minutes, Mike. You got this.
Yeah.
Tuned in from the gym, just for those who are listening at home. Jesus.
Let them imagine. Let them think what they want.
It would be nice if somebody could, if Mad Milkman was at the gym and he is projecting, he is Chromecasting his phone up to the TVs that are there, and like everybody gets to watch us. They're like, oh, who are these lovely people?
I think you're making a hint for him. Is that what you're trying to do?
Hey, coffee. Yes, it's me. It's me. I'm back.
The prodigal son has returned.
I heard you guys had some fun without me last week with Trevor.
Naturally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, absolutely. All the shit talking behind my back and ready for me to listen to.
Did you actually listen to it or not?
I haven't yet. I haven't had the
I knew
opportunity
it.
to listen to the last week's episode. I will. I will get to it.
Yeah, we might just consider replacing you with Trevor on a permanent basis.
Whoa!
If this sort of behavior. Continues. Just saying.
You know what? Fine. Fuck it. I'm out. Later.
You've got a lot to live up to. Trevor's a great guest.
I will concur.
Well, now that I think Donnie's ego is sufficiently bruised, why don't we go ahead and get started here? Welcome to Gamers Week Podcast. Like the name says, we'll analyze the best, the worst, and the weirdest headlines of the past week in the video game industry. Today is episode 196, and it is Wednesday, January 21st, 2026. My name is Ryan, aka Retro Game Brews, and I have with me two fantastic co-hosts. First of which was a woman who, had she been around in the Dark Ages and was born into Viking society, would be the voice of reason, saving potentially millions of lives because she's a buzzkill. Blue Williams. Blue, how you doing?
Good. There was a train of thought here. That
Yes.
It sounded like you said
I'm a
millions of
Viking,
lice.
and I'm saving millions of lives, so that's a good thing. I'll take it. But I'm a buzzkill.
Everybody was like, let's go raiding. And you're like, well, guys, maybe this isn't the best idea. Maybe we should hold back. I know they probably deserve it, but you know what? Just pump the brakes.
Okay, I see where we're going.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it now. No, you know what? That's fair. I'm here to keep our village alive and prosperous and not pick fights that we don't need to pick. So,
hence, you're a buzzkill.
that's fine.
And next up, a man who cried like a little bitch even after we paid his ransom to an Eastern European arms dealer named Vladimir. Donnie, first of all, welcome back. And
Thank
how
you.
are you doing?
Those bitch cries were tears of joy. Okay, 'cause I knew I was no longer going to have to be stuck in that prison wearing only a loincloth. I would get to see you guys again, have normal food and normal conversations. So call me a bitch. That's fine.
That's why he's currently sipping wine, is to make the memories go away.
Yes. I have to drink the pain away.
Mm-hmm.
So I got a question,
Hmm.
which I'm always interested in. But when people travel to a different country, especially if you've got to travel more than a few hours,
Yeah.
what is the weirdest food that you had while you were there?
Weirdest?
Or just out of the ordinary, things that you didn't expect, I guess.
There was the dining was top tier. I mean, pretty much even in the cafeteria, we had a catered lunch every day at this office that we were at, because it's with our partner company. Every dinner was nice. There was this, there's the first restaurant, they had this sour soup with sausage and eggs, and it was in a bread bowl. But not Panera bread type bread bowl. This thing looked like a freaking beer stein. It was like this tall with a top that, like I said, it looked like a bread beer stein. I did not.
How'd you get into it? You're like,
yeah, pretty much.
No, you're supposed to pick it up like.
Yeah, there you go. So bread stein. I did not have that one. I actually had the tomato soup with I think mozzarella in it, and it was really freaking good. On the flight home through Lufthansa, they had like the appetizer was duck breast. So it's like
That's the appetizer?
that was the appetizer.
Hmm.
I,
That
I
probably
did-
cost more than everybody else's tickets on coach.
oh, absolutely. I wasn't. There was no weird food at all that I had. It was all very much top tier, elegant dining.
See, if next time you go, street food. Try to find some street food.
They had it. So in Krakow, they had a bunch of the shawarma, falafel,
Yep.
shops and whatnot. And there was one night we actually went out walking through the city before we head to the restaurant. So we got to see the old center of Krakow. And I wanted to stop at one of these places to get like a pre-dinner snack because I love that kind of food.
Oh,
Sadly, I didn't do it.
Simon Escher says, I've never seen duck breast outside of Howard the Duck. Don't Google.
I know exactly what scene you're talking about.
Yep.
She's in the bath. She's got the bubble bath and the hairnet and whatever. She's drinking a glass of champagne or wine, and Howard the Duck comes blasting through the wall. And there you go.
That is such a weird movie.
Play duck.
Yeah. All right. Well, if you want to start your own podcast, maybe about the world is neither flat nor round, the world is a vampire, and apparently you're also a fan of Smashing Pumpkins, Buzzsprout has a user-friendly interface, great analytics and resources to help grow your audience. Use the link in the description to get a $20 credit when you sign up for a paid plan.
Are you guys not Smashing Pumpkins fans?
I am.
I am. I know someone who's not, which is Sanity.
But he's not here, so
He might be lurking. We don't know.
Lurking?
you
Twerking,
know
or jerking?
Sanity's in the chat because there's a wall of emojis. So
Fair.
I can safely say he's not here.
Doom, 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 doom.
All right, so why don't we jump into our reviews, reactions, and requests? First up from Phil of the Infinite Backlog says the leak Steam machine prices might be a deal breaker, at least for a while. Saying would have to be pretty powerful for me to drop that much on one at launch. My Steam Deck is great, but also can be docked and runs nicely still.
That is a compelling argument. If you already have a Steam Deck and it can be docked, then you like really, really don't need a Steam machine.
No,
Absolutely.
I think
Yeah, go ahead.
I just think it's way too expensive. For this much of money, you can get a PC that can run most games, and buy the PC. Put that in your living room.
I'm talking to you from my living room, so don't me.
I mean, you do what you want with your living room.
Fair. All right, next up is from Firaga. Walk with me. I know that if I put the money into a PC, I would probably get something just as good or better, but I'm putting my trust in the Steam machine because of the form factor and Steam running OS, or Steam OS running on hardware dedicated and built around it.
That
Go ahead.
no, I was to say that is also a very compelling argument.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't want to mess around with building a PC, you just buy the thing that's already built to run the Steam OS.
And I will say from prefab, I think I would be more apt to trust Steam than like your average pre-build.
Than Microsoft or CyberPower or whoever.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
They always seem to add a lot of crap.
Bloatware. Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Am I wrong, or is Firaga from Final Fantasy?
It is.
It's a great name.
Firaga, Curaga.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Just making sure.
Gonzaga, all the Agas.
The Gonzaga.
Oh man, that'd be great. Like basketballs rain down.
That's got to be a mod somewhere. That has got to be a mod.
God on the power of Gonzaga. And last but not least, Games with Coffee. Oh my God, the ribbing on poor Donnie in his absence.
Mm.
And the ribbings will continue until morale improves.
Mhm. That's just to show you we love you. We were
Of
thinking
course.
of you while you were gone.
I wouldn't have it any other way. If you guys weren't talking shit on me, then yeah, then I would say that you didn't love me.
Games with Coffee says Gonza, Gonzara, Gonzaga.
Gonzaga.
That is the evolution of the spell.
Direct to you from, was it Spokane, Washington? Nice. All right, so why don't we go ahead and shout out our patrons?
We couldn't do what we do without the help of our gorgeous patrons. Here are the generous folks supporting Gamers Week on Patreon. Don't make me pull this car over. There ain't no getting off of this train. Hybrid Divide, You Fall Before Me, the Let's Play Princess, La Shorty, the Pixel Pond family, including Shannon and Luke, and the Skee Ball Daddy, Zach, aka Old Cluster Nuts, Puzzle Butter, number one Blue Sick Voice Chan, John Barron, Sassy Sony, Evo Lust, Syra, Al Harrington's Wacky Waving Inflatable Arm Flailing Tube Man Emporium and Warehouse, Mega Retro Man, Gamatroid, Mora Deeb, Michael, You Could Trouble Me for a Warm Glass of Shut the Hell Up, LaKite, Emo-esque, Bill Tucker, you know, the bleeps, the sweeps, and the creeps, Fruitcakes, I Hate It When My Schwartz Gets Twisted, Pickled Pepper, Ducks with Thick Thighs, absolutely the best podcast, a work in progress, Bops and Dugnut, Blues Little Sis, Perler Daddy, Retro Blast Pat, BNT Zilla Guy, The Mad Milkman, Seven Castle Forest, Crunchy Kong, Claw Machine Daddy, Frank Grande, Love Retro BTW, Steven Sand, Ramboski, and Terry Kinnair. If you like what you hear today, and we really hope you do, please consider joining us on Patreon. Your support helps cover the cost of producing the show, as well as other cool stuff we'll be doing like prizes and giveaways. You'll also gain access to our bi-weekly patron-only bonus cast called Gamers Week Uncut, Patrons with Benefits. Visit patreon.com/gamersweek or follow the link in the show notes to learn more. What?
I just keep thinking about the she's like, my fingers hurt. Well, your back's gonna hurt because you just pulled landscaping duty.
Mista, get this thing off of me.
You know the Mr. lady? I think I killed her.
You eat pieces of shit for breakfast? No.
You guys just quoted his names for the next month, so now he's got
Yeah.
nothing.
Oh, there's so
No.
many more though from that movie.
The amazing golf
Hot
ball
so
whacker
hot.
guy.
Want to touch the hiney?
The Heine LeKite.
The Heine Kite.
All right, so let's go ahead and check out our headlines for the week.
All right, this headline segment is proudly sponsored by Absolutely the Best Podcast, a work in progress. Each episode, George and Zach discuss and rank all the best things, and right now they're ranking every game in the Metroid series. This week, they've got a trivia question for us. In Super Metroid, what is the name of the move performed by holding the L and R shoulder buttons while laying a power bomb, taking Samus from less than 50 health to full health at the cost of 10 missiles, 10 super missiles, and 10 additional power bombs? Visit them at absolutelythebest.net or follow the link in the show notes.
I happen to, I believe, know the answer to this.
Really?
Really.
That's nerdy as its finest.
I like Super Metroid. It's like the only Metroidvania that I actually like. It's like Super Metroid, Castlevania Symphony of the Night, and then I stop. Those are the two.
I never played. I never got to play Super Metroid. Never really fully played it. I
Highly
have it.
recommend.
It's sitting on my shelf. It's on my backlog to go back and try. It just at the time I wasn't really interested in it because the bad taste in my mouth that the original Metroid gave us.
Mm-hmm.
So I really don't know the answer to this one. Come like the word like maybe Mega Flare or something like that pops into my head, but I don't think that's right.
I don't think it's right either.
Okay.
It's like a last ditch. I'm gonna die, so I'm gonna sacrifice everything in
of
order
course.
to do it. The
Makes
only
sense.
problem is it's convoluted to do, right? So you gotta like hit the buttons the right way. So 9 times out of 10 you're gonna fail trying to get it to pull it off because A, you don't use it very often, right? Because it's like a last ditch one. And B, because it has multiple button pushes all at the same time.
Uh-huh.
What?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Oh, yeah. And C in the stink. So I think it's called Crystal Flash.
Okay.
Correct? Blue?
Yes, you are correct.
Ah.
I had told Zach when he presented a Metroid trivia question, I was like, they're not going to get it. They hate Metroid. There's no way. I was like, we need to give them a hint. And we couldn't think of a hint. The best hint that we could give was it rhymes with Flistal Crash, and that was all you were going to get. But
I didn't even need it. Look at
you
that.
didn't even need it. So, congratulations.
If you
Flistal
would have said
Crash.
something, or if you would have given me trivia for the first Metroid, I would have never gotten it because I put like maybe an hour into that game. I was like, this sucks. I hate this. So
Hey,
And also,
Goldeneye.
F's in the chat for Zach, who is not able to attend tonight because he is team building at a work function.
Ooh.
yeah, definitely F's in the chat then for that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Not so good.
Yeah. It rhymes with Fistal Crash. Woo!
That's my new band name. Rhymes with Fiscal Crash with their new album.
All right, so this week's headline starts off with in 2024, the video game industry survived until 2025. In 2025, the video game industry survived 2025. In 2026, we're going to have to do something that isn't just about surviving. That's for sure. Even with lots to look forward to, 2026 is steeped in uncertainty. The industry's hard reset after COVID looks to be complete, but it has changed the rules of the game. The culture war around the use of artificial intelligence within developing is raging, and the global political environment we operate in is a little spicy at the moment. So, what exactly has happened in the forthcoming year in video games? Here are 5 predictions for video games in the coming year.
Grand Theft Auto.
spicy. Sorry.
Spicy. Grand Theft Auto 6 will be an awe-inspiring but era-ending success story. Grand Theft Auto 6 will almost certainly release in November 2026. When it does, it will simultaneously be the biggest AAA release in video game history and mark the end of a period of video game history as we know it. It's hard to know exactly how much cash Take-Two and Rockstar will make from the Crime Caper, but the reasonable guess is loads, air quotes. However, the game's billion-dollar budget is a product of GTA's unique position in the industry, not a target for any business to aim for, and its decade-long development cycle is an indulgence few can follow. Questions linger about whether the new release will convert or cannibalize the user base of the long-lived GTA Online. GTA 6 will be the game that confirms the traditional console model is now a luxury, not the blueprint for success it once was.
Next, China will become the center of the video game world. China is the biggest gaming market in the world in terms of revenue at $53.2 billion and player count at 723 million players, according to Newzoo. The Chinese games market, as well as Chinese speaking markets across Southeast Asia, offers the most obvious pathway to growing game revenue. Additionally, China's protectionist and just occasionally authoritarian policies towards its
We
games
dabble.
industry
A little bit.
give it strategic control over the sector. This doesn't mean the country will emerge as the world's video game superpower without its fair share of challenges, of course. The Chinese Communist Party's tight grip on power in China means it will trade off economic growth for political discipline if it deems it necessary, as seen in the numerous video game crackdowns between 2017 and 2022. However, these are brakes on China's games market growth rather than hard barriers to it. And if it does become the superpower of the video games industry world, expect the industry to draw ever closer to its orbit in the years to come.
Thesis led publishing to win big in 2026. For much of the past decade, digital game publishing has felt generic. In other creative industries, saturated competitive markets force companies that fulfill publishing roles to hyper specialize to reach new audiences. For example, think of cable television channels like MTV, History Channel, Cartoon Network, etc. Therefore, similarly, I can't say that word.
Similarly.
Thesis-led video game publishers will likely reap rewards in a mature market in the year ahead. Such specialists can deliver a tighter argument of what they're publishing the niche they're selling to, and why they think it will deliver repeated success, which will prime them to win big in the years to come. Similarly.
Steam will drop its Made with AI label from its storefront. Since January 2024, Steam has required game developers who list on its storefront to declare how they use generative AI within the development of their games. At the end of this year, the public declaration will be significantly amended or completely shelved by Valve. The reason for the prediction is simple. It's becoming a growing commercial risk for the platform. Game companies that use generative AI must declare that they've done so on Steam. This feeds outrage amongst players, likely impacting the game's sales. This then hits more businesses as AI adoption increases. All of this puts Valve in an unhelpful position. A content disclosure designed to enhance player choice is actively damaging its own business. Steam will most likely drop the disclosure altogether, riding out short-term public fury in return for a more comfortable time in the long term.
And lastly, there will be another political acquisition or investment into a games business. Over the past 5 years, we've seen growing interest in autocracies in being invested, literally or politically, into games businesses. Vladimir Putin ordered his government to fund the development of video games via the Institute for the Development of the Internet in September 2023. 1 month later, the Chinese government took up its option of a golden share in Tencent to give it a seat on its board. Saudi Arabia's Public Investment Fund's purchase of Electronic Arts was one of 2025's biggest headlines. And while there is no definitive indication that any party is currently planning to invest in the games business, this would be a good year to do so. Regulators are unlikely to scrutinize the acquisition of games companies for foreign influence concerns in the current political environment, especially regarding American businesses. And despite all the challenges of the past few years, the biggest game companies make bank and reach vast audiences, an attractive proposition to the more self-interested political elite popping up around the world.
Vladimir Putin's over here like, comrade, we have not had hits since Tetris. We need new game. What do you have for us?
Giga Chad 2026.
He says he's going to come over to my house and stomp a mud hole. I'd like to see him try. I have KGB waiting.
Shirtless bear riding simulator.
It is new hot VR game in Minsk Square. Yes.
If our podcast makes it to Russia and we have any fans there, we apologize.
Do you remember those old commercials from, it was either the 90s or the 2000s, where it shows the guy in Russia walking through like just miles and miles of snow to get to the store, and he asked the shopkeepers, like, do you have Stone Temple Pilots on compact disc? And the shopkeeper's like, yet. It's like, no. So he turns around, he's walking all the way back home in the snow, and I can see him walking all the way to the store. Do you have Shirtless Bear Simulator on VR for Steam? Yet.
Yeah.
He just walks out, walks all the way back home.
Okay.
Okay.
Good see you, Vladimir. Next month. All right. So typically what we've done in the past is that we've had predictions, right? So, predictions that we had for last year were as follows. I predicted that Sega's subscription service will gain legs in 2025. Survey says,
Sorry, friend.
Blue's prediction was that GTA 6 will be game of the year. Maybe 1 year too quick.
I was just a little early with my prediction.
And Donnie said no major game release in 2025 will involve anything NFT. I think he might have won.
Yeah. I mean, just to be sure, I Googled NFT video games in 2026, and they were all like weirdo crypto titles that I don't think anybody has ever heard of. So
am I the Nostradamus daddy?
sure, you can be the Nostradamus daddy.
Donnie, the video game soothsayer. I like that.
Yeah. So
When did we make these predictions?
Early last year.
yeah,
Okay.
January last year.
Okay. I am at no point ready to make my prediction for this year, so please don't ask me on this episode.
Donnie, what are your predictions for
I-
2026?
Yeah. We
Fucking
always,
told you.
we always, every January we have to make a prediction for the coming year. You don't get to
It's-
just opt
yeah.
out of it.
Right.
That's fine.
Actually,
But we still have one more week of January left, so I'm going to reserve mine for next week.
okay.
Thank you.
We're all making them on the spot, Donnie. It's fine. You're gonna be all
There's
right.
nothing writing on it. What does it matter?
Yeah, right. Okay, you say that, but everything matters when you're
Donnie's
trying to
gonna
be.
like, there's no video games that are gonna be using an iron in them. You know. I'm telling you, man. It's fun. It's all in good fun. We
No
can do
hit
this
games
tonight.
will come out of Russia
Mhm.
this year. Okay, there you see.
All right, there we go. Donnie's got his permission or his prediction. Before we jump into making predictions, though, let's at least talk about the 5 that we just covered.
Right.
What do you think are the most plausible out of these?
Well, I think Grand Theft Auto 6 is gonna, like they say, is probably gonna be maybe not like the exact bookend of an end of an era, but it will be the thing that everybody can point to. Is because even now, this console model that they're describing, where you're in development for 8 to 10 years, you've got a budget that's more than the uh, capital of a small country, and you just put out your game whenever you want to, confident that your IP is going to draw the audience, and that we've already seen the last 4 years that just doesn't work anymore. And GTA 6 may be the last title that can really pull it off.
I think that they can pull this off because of how much money they're pulling in from Grand Theft Auto Online. Also, how
Mhm.
successful each entry has been since Grand Theft Auto 3. The single player experience, the story driven experience, not to mention the fact that there are, I mean, countless hours. I'm not saying just tens of hours or hundreds of hours. There are thousands, if not tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of hours that have been pumped into Grand Theft Auto 5. That damn game has spanned 3 separate consoles, correct?
Right.
Generations, yeah.
Yeah, so 3 separate consoles, and the fact that people are still playing it because of the online base, they have a successful thing. So do I think it's necessarily the end of an era? No. I think that as long as they continue to pull in this type of money and it's successful, they can keep going. They can draw this money in, and maybe it won't take them another 10 years to make Grand Theft Auto 7,
Right.
but I don't see this coming to an end.
I am a little cautious about GTA 6, though. I think they're leaning really hard into this whole Florida man thing,
Yeah.
which was a meme 10 to 8 years ago, somewhere around there, 8 to 10 years. And it was funny, and there was websites dedicated to it. I don't know if it's part of the zeitgeist anymore as much. So I am curious. I mean, I'm just saying purely from a topic standpoint. That's where I would be cautious. But I mean, if the gameplay is fantastic and the online experience is similar to what GTA 5 offers, then I'm sure it'll do great. I'm wondering, does the single player campaign still hit hard like it has in the past?
Yeah. I think this, for all the importance that Grand Theft Auto 6 commands in the release schedule, to where all other games want to jump out of its way and have
Right.
nothing to do with it, it also carries so much pressure because this game has been hotly anticipated. I forget when it was released, but probably 5 years, 6 years. Like, people have been clamoring for it. And you could argue that no game really ever lives up to that much pre-release hype. it's just almost impossible. It's
Cyberpunk.
yeah, it's the rare game. Well, Cyberpunk had its whole other issues when it released, but the point being, it's really really hard to live up to that level of pre-release hype. They can do it. It's possible, but if they don't, then I think this may be the end of the era that we were talking about. And even if it's not, I think Rockstar will probably be the only ones who can continue to afford to do this. They need for this to be just as big of a hit, if not bigger than GTA 5 was, or they're going to have to make some serious changes to their model.
They're rolling the dice, more or less.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they'll get a return of investment. Don't get me wrong on that. But to your point, it needs to probably do better than GTA 5 for them to continue this outrageous expectation. And the fact that you're right, that it gets delayed and gets delayed and gets delayed, it just dials up the hype train. Let's be
Yeah.
honest.
And it needs to be good for 10 years.
Right.
It can't just be good for one playthrough and then people move on to something else. It needs to be good for people to continue to buy it for the next 10 years, the next 3 generations or whatever, to continue to play it online. That's what they need to be able to sustain this. So that's a tall order. They can totally do it, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Absolutely. As far as the Chinese market is concerned, I agree from like a sales standpoint. That makes sense that China is kind of a focus for, or will be more of a focus for companies. You know, publishers from the U.S., Japan, whatever, uh, really going to focus more on the Chinese market because there's an opportunity there. Um, I don't know of a lot of publishers though that are coming out of Japan that are making blockbuster games that are accepted outside of China, right?
Publishers in China.
Right,
Right.
right,
Yeah.
right. So when I think of being like the center of gaming, it's not only from a consumer standpoint, but it's also uh, they're making games, right? They're it's part of the culture, like it is in Japan and the U.S., right?
Yeah. Well, you got to remember that China has put out Genshin Impact and Honkai Star Rail, which are
Sure, yeah.
massive free-to-play successes. Black
Don't
Myth
get me wrong.
Wukong,
They're there. I
they're
just
emerging.
they're emerging.
Yeah,
That's a good
yeah.
point.
They
So
pale
I'm
in
saying
comparison to the already
2026.
existing ones.
Yeah, 2026. I don't think is enough time for them to flourish in that way. I mean, the French are already taking over. You know.
Ah, the
They had
French.
one game.
Yeah, one game, and now they're getting ostracized or criticized for all the AI stuff that they used.
But the biggest, I think, hindrance, and the article covered this, is that the Chinese Communist Party also controls a lot of the content in everything around gaming. Um, so that stifles creativity, stifles the ability to create new and interesting games that are unique. Especially when you say these are the things you can't talk about. These are the pieces of information that can't be shared. Uh, and if that's the route that we're all going to go, we're just going to capitulate to the moral police, if you will, of China. Uh, yeah, I'm out if that's the case. But I just think calling it for 2026 is a little bit early, in my opinion.
Hmm. I mean, I could agree. 2026 is a short timeline for an emerging market to become a dominant market, but I don't think it's going to be as bad as you say it is. Capitulating to the content restrictions of the government, I don't. I think that the big successful games that they've put out so far, I think show that they know how to work around it in a way that feels relatively seamless. And now that the Chinese Communist Party or the Chinese government has stake in NetEase, it behooves
Stake.
them to work with the publishers there and make it happen. So I think that they're going to figure it out just fine. Everybody is a lot more willing to cooperate when there's money.
It's a good point, and I think actually the Communist Party is not so communist anymore because of what you just described. Their money. In fact, if I remember right, they refer to it as capitalism 2.0. As like they've solved capitalism because they've got a hybrid between the two. Um, but yeah, you're probably right in that regard. I'm just an alarmist, I think. I don't like the idea of censorship, um, especially when it comes to entertainment. So,
Well, speaking of hybrid says, seriously, Ryan, I'm with you. China can be the biggest babies on the planet. Huge whiners. Just say Taiwan and watch them lose their shit.
oh, that's controversial.
um, the other one that I think is likely to happen is the Steam dropping its made with
Yeah.
AI label. I don't think that is long for this world. They've already adjusted it, I think. I read as of yesterday or just a few days ago where they've changed it to differentiate between games that used AI in the development process and games that actually contain generative AI in them. So
Mhm.
they're already specializing it to try to put a buffer on those games that are using it in less in your face ways, I guess I should
Right.
say.
Right.
And
So,
so
how bad is this hurting their business model, though? Because all they're doing is just forcing. How do I phrase this? If you're forcing the developers to say, "Hey, we used AI in the making of this video game," and that's going to rub people the wrong way,
Mhm.
because some people are just completely and 100% against AI. They don't want to have anything to do with it. And I think that's kind of deceitful if you say, oh, we enforced it, but now we're going to remove it because it hurts our business. And then somebody finds out, oh, this game was made using generative AI, which is something I'm vehemently against. Like, now I'm not going to play it. Does that person get their money back because of the fact that this was made with AI? And that's something that Steam used to sort of, I wouldn't say gatekeep, but it's something that used to help the consumer identifying.
I'm going to say probably not. Knowing large corporations and their terms of service, right?
Yeah.
I'm sure there's something buried in there that says we have the right to change any and all labels if we want to. Um, too bad, so sad. We got your
mhm.
money. Ha ha ha. That's a quote right from their terms of service.
It's a direct quote.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say that
And
Steam,
it
however, you can go in and ask for a refund within a certain period of time of
Mhm.
buying a game. Because I've done that before. I think one of the old Street Fighter games I tried to buy and it wouldn't work. So I just decided, I was like, hey, I need a refund. They did it. So maybe if you did find out within a reasonable amount of time, saying, hey, I don't want this game, give me my money back.
Right.
hmm I mean, I think it has a lot to do with, like Tim Sweeney said, um, of course, of Epic Games, is that eventually so many games are going to have AI in them that requiring this disclosure is absurd, and that's why we're not going to do it. So I think the pushback is going to come, especially from people on who stand to profit on
Mm-hmm.
that side. They're going to keep pushing this down and pushing this down. And eventually, also, as we know with all things, outrage gets tired and it slowly goes away. And so people will stop demanding it quite so much. And then eventually, this disclosure will just kind of quietly go away.
Go Homo Go says Street Fighter, or was it one of those adult games? Slut Fighter 2 Pornament Edition?
That's definitely in your
Hmm.
Steam library.
Oh, 1, 2, and 3. Thank you very much.
hmm
Third Strike, the new fighters, the new warriors. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's becoming ubiquitous. I think Steam originally added that to be the good guy and say, hey, um, we're going to give you more information. We're going to be more transparent. I think probably that it was a good PR move,
Yeah.
right?
hmm
Uh, and then, of course, Epic, because they're in competition, flips it on its head and like, no, we're not going to do that because you're smarter than that, and we don't want to blah 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 blah. So yeah, it just becomes a crazy PR thing, which means that for the most part, Steam can quietly get rid of it and not give a shit, right?
hmm
Man.
It's not like
Which
they
is
got into it because they had these high moral standards.
No, I think what Steam does is they start out being on the side of the consumer, on the side of the
Mhm.
gamer, and then when their money is threatened, they take that shit back as fast as they possibly
Mhm.
can. I.e., look at the way they bent over and caved to the credit card processors with adult games. So much for we'll host any game as long as it's not illegal, to yeah, anything that even looks like it might be sort of questionable, yeah, we're not gonna, because they threatened our money, so sorry.
In
And
the
that's why I have to use PayPal.
in the infamous quote of Harvey Dent, either you die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Mm-hmm.
And that's what Valve has done.
Yep. Or is in the process of, anyways. I'm just gonna have to bleep all of this episode.
I'm not reading that out loud. I'm sorry.
I
know. Go hobo go. Yeah, yep, not gonna do it, man.
Ain't gonna do it. Wouldn't be prudent.
Anyway, should we make our predictions?
I'm comfortable.
No,
I'm
we
comfortable
just
with
had
this.
this whole conversation before. I'm not making a prediction right now.
All right, well, Blue and I can make a prediction,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can be little bitch daddy.
LBD.
The reigning Nostradamus daddy is uncomfortable making his prediction right now.
I just can't work under this pressure.
So every year I predict what's going to be game of the year. And I have a way of cursing whatever it is that I pick. And this is a tough one because, you know, obviously last year, as we discussed, I said GTA 6 will be game of the year, and then it was delayed. But not only was it delayed until November 2026. And
Yeah.
I think that it comes out right about the time when they announce the nominees for the Game Awards. So will it be out in time? But also, as we saw this year with the Deadpool game, some special games can be nominated for a Game of the Year or a Game Awards category before they even release. That could be the case with GTA 6. But then again, as we also discussed, the pre-release hype is so high that maybe people will just be sick of it by the time it comes out, or maybe people will say, it's not what I thought it was going to be. It didn't meet all my hopes and dreams. I don't know. There's a lot riding on this. So actually, I'm going to say GTA 6 will not be game of the year in 2026. I think game of the year will go to another small game that nobody saw coming that will surprise everyone. It's not going to be a one that's on any of the lists we've talked about. It's going to be something completely unexpected.
You could have just stopped at GTA 6 will not be game of the year, and you will probably be right.
Yeah, but I didn't want to be accused of making a softball prediction. So I'm going
the
out
Earth
on a
will
limb.
not end.
Yeah. So by that omission, I think Grand Theft Auto 6 will get Game of the Year.
There we
'Cause
go.
nobody's
That
gonna
has
want
made his
to-
prediction.
Yeah, absolutely.
Competing predictions. We can do that.
I'm not. No, that's
No?
not my prediction. I've got a prediction.
Oh, okay. Nostradamus Daddy is coming through for us, and after all.
Ryan, would you like to tell everybody yours?
Sure. So I think the Steam machine is going to be successful enough that it's going to warrant other companies into making their own mini PC boxes. So the Epic's Game Store and Nvidia and all those other companies are going to follow the trend similar to what they did with the Steam Deck.
You mean
I like that
consoles?
prediction.
Yeah, little
Hmm.
PC consoles, if you
Like
will.
consoles that we already make?
Yes, but mini versions.
Yeah.
I like that prediction. The thing that I think might get you is if 2026 is enough time for them
Sure.
to start making their own.
Right.
But I think you're probably right. I think that if it's a success, they will start to copy it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the PS6 will just be a mini PC essentially. It will be its own
Yep.
brand of a mini PC that you can take anywhere, which realistically you can take the PlayStation anywhere, which doesn't this
Can't
doesn't
take
this
the
whole thing doesn't make
that's-
sense.
that's a big-
Vive anywhere.
Yeah, that's a big boy. You're not just packing that for a day out.
Hey
Sure
guys.
you are.
So what's
The
your
PlayStation 5 looks like an old school like VCR DVD combo, you know, like the
Yeah.
honker.
You need like the most epic Jinkos to carry that around with you. What's it gonna be, Donnie?
I have looked into the future. I have seen what is and what will be, and Microsoft will fall.
Will fall.
I think
Define Microsoft will fall.
Microsoft will divest a huge chunk of its business, specifically the Xbox division. It will sell that to somebody else.
Hybrid Divide says, "Damn it, Donnie! I was going to predict that."
InSync, Tractor Beam.
Interesting. Interesting.
I
That's
think
a spicy one. I
Microsoft
like it.
has been chasing that for a while now, not showing any profit. Video game studios closing and whatnot, and not being able to successfully manage this video game business. I think Microsoft is done. I think they want to be done with video games, and they are going to write it off, sell it off to somebody else, and say, "Here you go, go."
Games of Coffee thinks that they're going to sell it off to Sega.
That's what I said a couple years ago. I said that Microsoft will sell to Sega, or Sega will buy Microsoft. I said that in one of the earliest episodes. I did say that.
Puzzle Better says chonky PCs or mini PCs. Everyone has a type.
Like my PC with extra C's, you know. All right, next up, the big final reveal for 2025 Game Awards was the trailer for Highguard, the new free-to-play PvP rail shooter from the creators of Apex Legends and Titanfall. It's spot on, typically reserved for the highest profile reveal of the game, which naturally carries with its weighty audience expectations. Yet the Highguard trailer landed with a thud, causing audiences to brand it as Concord vibes. Ouch. And gave it a ghastly 2,400 dislikes on YouTube. According to sources familiar with the Game Awards, a 60-second trailer during the 2025 ceremony cost $450,000. A 3-minute trailer costs over $1 million. Eye-watering numbers that price out many developers from showcasing their upcoming games. But as it turns out, no money changed hands for Highguard to get the catbird seat. Report from Forbes confirmed that it didn't pay for the spot at all, despite other developers having to pony up 6 or 7 figures. Reportedly, showrunner Jeff Keighley just really liked the game and offered it to them. Forbes explained. In all reality, the game doesn't look abysmal, just common and a little drab. Games with more egregious sins have received less vitriol. But the free Game Awards spot, which theoretically should have been a huge marketing boost, has now handed Highguard an uphill battle to win people over. Criticism has been directed at Keighley in the wake of the backfire, with audiences speculating that he sent the game out to die. There is no guarantee at this point that Highguard will succeed or fail, or be good or bad. There's just too much we don't know. But at least the idea that they blew their entire budget on the Game Awards spot won't be part of the discussion.
Oh, something was blown.
Keighley can be bought. Ooh.
I know.
Something
It's
was
funny.
blown.
I know. Well, it's funny because reading the response to this, people are like, well, Keighley did it to sabotage the game, and Keighley knew it was bad and just served them up on a platter and knew they would fail. I was like, are you sure? Are you sure? These are the developers behind Apex Legends and Titanfall. I think it's far more likely that somebody was doing some favors behind the scenes and like, hey, can you get us the final reveal of the show for free? And then give our game a huge boost that we're struggling to get in a saturated shooter market, free to play PvP raid shooter market.
Why wouldn't you also take their money as well? If you're setting them up to fail, why don't you just do a double slap?
Yeah,
in the
just
face
like,
and
I'm gonna
take their
get-
money. Yeah.
Does Jeff Keighley have like stock in a competing publisher that he wants a different game to do much better? Like that just doesn't make any sense. I agree.
No.
No,
Take
no,
their
no.
money, laugh all the way to the bank.
Right. No, there was some favors that changed hands. There was also apparently a rumor that whatever game was intended to be in that spot dropped out, and so Highguard took it last minute. But I don't know if I buy that.
I do love that gamers have this many conspiracy theories though over the Game Awards and Jeff Keighley and how things have panned out. I mean, I'm not one to speculate. I'm sure it's like this innocuous reason as to what happened, or you know what, Jeff just played the game once or something and was like, this is the shit, you know. Um, he's like a Miami Dolphins fan, just really thinks his team is good, and everybody else knows it's not, but he's going to be ride or die for the Go Fins.
So that the Bills fan?
Fuck you.
Ah.
And at the end of the day, yeah, Kojima's best friend in conspiracies. Yeah, that's a good point as well. I doubt it's nefarious, or at least Jeff doesn't seem to me like he's like this. I don't know, shrewd businessman in the background, like I'm going to, move these pieces. Like he's not a guy playing 4D chess to me. He's just one with really bad suits. He's got a decent hosting voice and has made a butt ton of money because he basically made the Oscars for games.
Yeah, I don't think that that anything that was going on was nefarious in nature. I think it was just like plain old nepotism, like doing favors for your buddies.
Mm-hmm.
And I think if this had turned out to where everybody was hyped about Highguard, we probably would have had a lot more questions about future Game Awards and the games that get chosen for the final big reveal. But I think what's great about this now is that it's calling into question, what is the value of a trailer at the Game Awards? Is it worth these $500,000 to $1 million prices that they're charging if it can backfire this bad on you? Especially in a show that's 3-4 hours long and you don't even remember what you saw 98% of it.
Right.
Yep.
Or everything just looked the same.
Which today's market, you're right, everything kind of does look the same. It's either anime or it's run and gun or it's fantasy, you know? Looks like BG3. Like those are your three main players.
Yeah.
I wish there was more variety at times. But you're right, but the question that I have to ask is $450,000 going to be worth it to a game studio to put that in front of for what, a 60-minute or 60-second spot?
Depends on the budget.
Well, not only is it you're paying cash for the spot, but you also have to pay cash to the marketing company that's developing it for you and putting together all that. I would imagine there's millions of dollars involved in that. That balloons your budget quite a bit and takes away your margins.
I mean,
So,
I can't imagine that that's worth it
no,
when you can release a trailer for free on YouTube.
right.
I can't imagine it's worth it to be in the middle of such a long show and be completely forgotten unless people were already hyped for your game and looking for the trailer, maybe, but still, I have a lot of doubts.
I think you just nailed it. When there's YouTube and other avenues available, YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, all these other platforms, that you're not just regulated to what it's like with the Super Bowl. One avenue to get your
Right.
product placement in front of millions of people, if not billions of people. You can do that via other social media platforms. So yeah, save your money and just release it. If there's been hype, if there's a little bit of hype, then that stuff will spread like wildfire.
GoldenEye says, I remember the trailer for Divinity. That was the only one that came to mind for
Right.
me, too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we talked about after the Game Awards. We said this is the only trailer we remember because it was insane.
It was brutal.
Yeah.
Sex, gore, and
ASMR.
weird. Yeah, murder. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, next up, Nintendo allegedly expressed dissatisfaction at Sega during the development of Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games after seeing Sonic's foot placed ahead of Mario's. The incident has come to light in an Arcade Attack Retro Gaming Network interview with Sega veteran Ryoichi Hasegawa, who worked on the Wii and the Nintendo DS Spots minigame classic ahead of its release back in 2027. There was this one funny story, Hasegawa recalled, of the game's development. There was artwork of Mario and Sonic and other characters standing on the field, but those artworks were used for the package, the instructions manual cover, and the cartridge label, things like that. And Nintendo demanded us to there was one small error, and Sonic's foot was in front of Mario's foot, he continued. And Nintendo demanded us to change the priority, asked if Sega agreed to the change, and we were like, oh my God, we have to change it or there will be no deal. Nintendo has frequently been reported to be a stickler for its characters appearing exactly as it wants. Another infamous example is the company sending notes to Disney to describe exactly how Bowser should hold his teacup during a brief cameo in Wreck-It Ralph. And it was Mario and Sonic at the Olympic Games was a smash hit for Sega, selling 10 million copies and spawning a string of sequels. Alas, the franchise ended when the International Olympic Committee chose not to renew its license deal with Sega and Nintendo in 2024. And instead, pursue partnerships based around mobile gaming and NFTs.
I wonder how that's working out for them.
Can you imagine the conversation that Nintendo and Disney had? And Disney's like, do you know who the fuck we are?
Right.
And Nintendo's like, do you know who the fuck we are?
Oh, man. Pissing contest for that one.
Right.
And pretty much, those are the two companies that come immediately to mind as having a stick up their ass for their ironclad control over their IP, and we do not budge, and you do not fuck with us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that was interesting.
To be fair,
To be fair.
thank you. One of the things that I think Nintendo learned that after the original Super Mario Brothers movie, where somebody just went ham on all of their IPs and made just an absolute shitburger out of it. And
Burger.
and they were like, never again. We're never doing this again. It took them how many years to actually come out with another Super Mario movie? And they, I would imagine, had like
Decades.
creative control over every damn,
Every little thing, every
Scene.
aspect.
yeah, right.
Mhm.
Every piece of film as it came through. So yeah, I'm not surprised that Nintendo was that petty, but I can't imagine having built all that stuff and created it and like one small thing you got to change, so you would have to like change the packaging, change the manuals and everything like that. I mean, it's like it sounds like it was ready to ship more or less, and you had to like, or at least it was like pre-production, it was like just ready to print is what at least the impression I got. So
Perhaps, but I think they don't dare start production unless Nintendo okays it.
Right.
Probably true.
They were probably ready to be like, okay, but I think it's hilarious that they're like, well, did you change it for Nintendo? And he's like, oh my God, of course we did. If we didn't, we wouldn't have a deal. That was like Nintendo going, hey now, little sub Sega, you remember your
Oh.
place. Okay,
Oh,
remember who
little
is
sub.
the dom here in this relationship.
Oh.
And Sega was just like, oh yes, sorry, sir. Please forgive us. That's
Good
what this reads
girl.
like to
Good
me. I know,
girl.
right? There was a time in the 90s when Sega, the Sega that we grew up with, would never have taken that shit from Nintendo. But by
Right.
2007, wow, the rules had changed.
Listen, we're gonna blast process all over your face.
Say it. Say, now you're playing with power. Say it. Now you're playing with power. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, Daddy. Yes.
Guess what I'm doing now? Yeah, something you won't, bitch.
Yeah.
You know, though, I will say that those games did gangbusters, but they weren't fun. They sucked.
Maybe if Sonic's foot had been in front, then they wouldn't have sucked so bad.
Mm-hmm.
You know, that was the deciding factor, actually. The game was fantastic, but the artwork on the front just really put me off.
Yeah.
Sour taste in my mouth. Yeah, I was
Yeah.
out.
Yeah.
Games of Coffee says the last one was super fun. Yeah, I probably made it to. I think it's Rio. I don't know. I remember. I've got 2 of them.
Down in Rio de Janeiro.
I know that the one for the Wii U, I think it's for Rio, is had to get pulled off of shelves for some controversy as to some of the content. So that one, I think, actually goes for quite a bit right now.
Yeah, but I don't think anybody would argue that these are like the best games ever, and probably not too many
No.
people were sad to see them go. Looking
I
forward
mean,
to those IOC NFTs.
yeah, I
though.
was just about to say I prefer this over mobile games and NFTs. You know, and the worst part is that there was just somebody probably in the industry who was like, "Oh man, like nobody plays consoles anymore. You should probably like get a mobile game because they're like super cheap." And blah, blah, blah."
Yeah. 2022 called. They want their marketing plan back.
It's like the slowpoke memes, right? Came up in 2024, and they're like, "Do I have the marketing plan for you?" Right? Love it. All right, so why don't we go ahead and jump into our top 3 new releases this week?
Mio, Memories in Orbit. PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch 2, Switch, and PC. Play as android Mio in this mesmerizing Metroidvania where you explore the Vessel, an enormous technological ark overgrown with machines gone rogue. Uncover its secrets, enhance Mio's abilities, and save the spaceship and its residents from oblivion. Escape from Ever After. PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch, PC, and Atari 2600. A genre-bending RPG inspired by the classic Paper Mario games. When a greedy megacorp from the real world starts taking over fairy tales for their cheap labor, a newly hired storybook hero must climb the corporate ladder, rally together other disgruntled employees, and fight back. Dynasty Warriors Origins, PS5, Xbox Series X and S, Switch 2, and PC. Tension-filled battlefields where you clash against massive armies stretching as far as the eye can see. How will you handle the onslaught of enemies? Your military prowess will serve you well as you fight in tandem with your allies in tactical battles unique to the Dynasty Warriors franchise and experience the most Musou exhilarating action in the series' history. Did I pronounce that word right?
Yes.
Okay. Based on these titillating titles, Blue, what are you picking this week?
It's tough to decide what titillates me the most here. Dynasty Warriors Origins. I am not a fan of the Musou genre and not played much of Dynasty Warriors games, but I'll give this game credit for a really compelling trailer. So I don't know, like I'm not automatically ruling it out, even though I don't generally like these games. The trailer interested me, so I think it's worth a second look. Escape from Ever After, I like it how it just straight up says it takes inspiration from the classic Paper Mario games,
Mm-hmm.
because I watched the trailer first and I was like, oh my gosh, it's Paper Mario. So I like they're just coming out and saying it, but
Yeah.
this looked really fun. It looked really funny. I think this would be a great game to buy. But the one that I'm actually going to get is Mio Memories in Orbit. The Hollow Knight inspiration is very obvious here, and I'm okay with it. It looks great. It looks like a gorgeous game, and the music in the trailer that I saw was also great. Can't wait to play this one.
Awesome. Ryan, what about you?
So I'm in the same thought process here when it comes to Dynasty Warriors. I'm not a big Muso fan. Um, those games, it becomes mentally exhausting to play them. It's just wave after wave after wave of enemies. It's just
It's like zombies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
more or less. You know. So that's definitely not my genre. So I'm gonna pass on that one. Escape from Ever After. It looks fun. I will say that. But there's part of me that is thinking to myself, like, this is just like uh, corporate union simulator, like 2026, and which is ironic because we've covered unions quite a bit, but nonetheless, I don't know. That just at the end of the day, that's where I want my fantasy life to go. Is that I'm gathering employees to fight back against the corporate man. Like, I don't know.
I mean,
That's like,
you scolded me earlier because I've never seen Parks and Rec.
yeah.
It's kind of the same
What?
thing.
You've never seen Parks and Rec?
I know, right?
No, because I
Wow.
work in an office. Why do I want to watch a show about an office?
This is so it's not a show about an office per se. It's a show about a government uh community center place you know. Um it's not your typical office, is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
But to your point, I also work for a company. I don't want to do company stuff at home, right?
Yeah.
Right.
If you're a chef, you don't want to cook at home. If you're a landscaper, you don't want to cut the grass at home. I don't want to do this either as part of my fantasy experience. Brings it to Mio. This one is the most interesting looking one to me, but I just can't. I can't get into Metroid games or Metroidvania games. I'm terrible at them, and then I get frustrated, and then I don't go through the 5 stages of Donnie. I just go through the first two, where I go
Fuck this stuff.
curious, and then it goes, I fucking hate this game's existence. So that's where I stop. Uh, so I don't anticipate Mio being any different. So I'm gonna pass on all three of these, just because
Oh wow.
I know personally what I would probably spend a lot of time with, and while all three of these games have merit and potential, it's just not my cup of tea.
Sad. What about you, Donnie?
So Dynasty Warriors, I've never been a Musou fan. This the whole constant waves of stuff
Mhm.
coming at you. Yeah, that does not spark joy. Um Escape from Ever After looks interesting. Uh it doesn't look like the typical RPG. So I think I'm based on the trailer, I'm willing to give it a try, but the one that I think most titillated me this week was Mio Memories in Orbit. I I don't know how I feel about things being referred to as Hollow Knight esque. Like Hollow Knight
Ooh.
didn't start at all. I I don't really get the Hollow Knight vibes from this because Hollow Knight
Okay.
is darker.
Okay.
So I
I mainly saw it in the way the character moves. The size of the character is similar to the Hollow Knight size of the character.
okay.
That kind of stuff. The way they move about the map, the way the world is constructed, I thought looked similar. You're right. Hollow Knight did not create the genre, but I think a lot of games have taken inspiration from it, and I
Oh,
think this is one.
100%. Yeah. And I think for Mio, it wasn't necessarily a side scroller. It was 3D, correct? Where
It's more like the faux 3D, like
Right.
yeah, Metroid Dread had.
okay. Because in like Hollow Knight, yeah, that's strictly it's 2D up, down, left, right with 3D elements, like the way the art style is. But this game, I could have sworn I saw 3D during the trailer, during watching the trailer. So yeah, I like the way it looks, visually stunning. I do like Metroidvanias, so I think I'll be giving Mio Memories in Orbit a try with a Escape from Ever After as a backup.
All right. Before we move on, let's take a quick break to talk about our sponsor. This segment is proudly sponsored by the Retro Game Club podcast. It's a fantastic, family-friendly retro gaming podcast. In each episode, Rob and a guest pick 2 games to play and discuss, as well as news, interviews, and other topics. Right now, they want to know which retro console has the best stock controller. Visit them at retrogameclub.net or follow the link in the show notes.
Super Nintendo, final answer.
Yeah, it's got to be Super Nintendo.
I would tend to agree.
Easy. Okay, next.
Just say dog bone.
Yeah, everything.
Yeah, everything about it. Is...
When you think
Shoulder
of the
buttons.
think of the Super Nintendo and what they did with the PlayStation controller, it's almost. They just took the concept and compounded on it. So.
Yeah, and I remember playing regular NES, and when you get to a stressful part in the game, just gripping the controller, and then it had the sharp corners. So at the end, you'd be like, have these gouges in your hand.
Yeah,
like right there.
Yep.
It's like stigmata, you know?
Right. That was solved on the Super Nintendo.
Coffee, I will agree with you. I do like how the Genesis controller feels, both the 6-button and the 3-button. It just, for some reason, it feels natural.
The 3-button is bigger than the 6-button, right? Typically.
Yeah, it's a chunky boy.
And I like the size of the 6 or the 3. I just wish they had the 6. Nice. I wish that same size had the 3-button or 3 additional buttons, like make it a 6er.
Yeah,
the 3 buttons in a row though is bullshit. I'm just gonna say.
It takes some getting used to. I will.
Yeah.
Especially with how everything is set up nowadays to use these 2 fingers, right? For everything else. Yeah, these 2. You know what's up. We're so used to holding a controller like this versus just using your thumb across 3 buttons. I get why, but back in the day, it was your 2 options were Sega and Nintendo more or less, and it was either 3 buttons or 2 buttons.
Yeah, you had 2 buttons.
4 buttons. You had 4 buttons.
Well, eventually when the Super Nintendo came out, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, on the Master System and the NES, you only had 2 buttons. You had the D-pad and 2 buttons.
Yep.
So you're complaining about an extra button?
I'm complaining about it being all in a row. So if you're just playing, I would, and again, I didn't grow up with a Genesis, so maybe it's not second nature, but I'm between the B and the C, not pushing the right ones, or I go to push the middle one and push both of them or something. I just think the configuration should have been different.
I don't know. I like that it was at like an angle, right? It was kind of like curved a little bit, right? That I think
you like it with a little bit of a curve.
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, everybody likes a little bit of a curve, right?
A little bit.
It's easy to hit some of those spots. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Okay.
That's a 6
nice
button.
ass.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Hey there, fellow kids. Lace up those British Knights, tight roll those jeans, and make sure your lunchbox has the thermos, because where we're going, you're going to need them. This is a retrospective. With the upcoming release of tomorrow's full movie trailer, we're going to take a look at a franchise that got its start in the 70s, exploded on the scene in the 80s, died in the 90s, reanimated in the 2000s, and still lives on to this day. If you're screaming, "I have the power!" right now, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Of course, I'm talking about Masters of the Universe. Now, Masters of the Universe...
Was I there when you bought that sword, by the way? I think I was.
No, I bought this in Milwaukee.
I thought you bought it at Southern Fried, to be honest with you.
No.
I know you were looking at one at Southern Fried.
So if I make it to, I've been looking for the He-Man version of this sword, just like the silver one. And if I find one, I'm bringing it home and I'm going to hang it up on my wall right here, like a little cross pattern. I love this thing.
Love it.
Now, Masters of the Universe, or MOTU for short, got its start in the late 70s when the toy company Mattel didn't secure the rights to the Star Wars toy line. And by didn't secure, I mean they straight up declined. Those rights ultimately were picked up by Kenner, and we all know how successful that toy line is/was. What'd you say, Blue?
I just said, oops.
Yep. Talk about your all-time backfires. After the debacle, several artists at Mattel came together and developed some concept art for a new toy line in the style of Conan the Barbarian. Think bulging muscles and loincloths. The prototypes for these toys were actually derived from an existing Mattel toy line called Big Jim, in which there was tons of clay slapped over existing figures, molds created, and the MOTU prototypes came into fruition. Initially, the tale of He-Man and his universe wasn't quite clear. His backstory wasn't there yet. The backstory of He-Man was first conceptualized for special mini-comic books that Mattel marketing director Mark Ellis promised distributors would accompany the toys. Mattel partnered with DC to have these mini-comic books produced. Long story short, He-Man is the protector of Eternia from the evil Skeletor and his henchmen who are constantly trying to seize the power of Castle Grayskull, and He-Man ultimately thwarting them at every turn. The toy line was eventually solidified in 1981 and released to shelves in 1982. The original figures of the first line were He-Man, Skeletor, Beastman, Man-at-Arms, Teela, Stratos, Merman, and Zodak. Battlecat was the original vehicle released, and Castle Grayskull was the playset. After the initial waves of figures were released, in 1983, Masters of the Universe would debut perhaps its most famous incarnation with the animated series He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. Created by Filmation under the direction of executive producer Lou Scheimer, the cartoon made its television debut on September 5th, 1983, with the episode The Diamond Ray of Disappearance. Running through 2 seasons, He-Man and the Masters of the Universe was one of the first animated series produced directly for weekday syndication, as opposed to reruns primarily based on Saturday mornings. Totaling 130 episodes, with each season of 65 episodes stretching across 13 weeks, the series' last episode, The Coal Zone, aired on November 21st, 1985.
That's crazy that you could get 65 episodes in a season.
I
Right.
know. Like, that's
Now
a lot.
shows go out and your season is 5 episodes, 8 episodes.
Not that many.
Mm-mm.
Now, I will not be discussing She-Ra, unfortunately. She doesn't come into play here, but I will say this. I know my stuff about He-Man and Masters of the Universe, so anything, this is going to be compacted, constrained, shortened down. I can't go over everything, but just know I know what you're talking about. So earlier in 1980, the rights holders of Conan the Barbarian had been negotiating the character's toy rights with Mattel, and they entered into an agreement the following year regarding characters from the 1982 Conan movie. However, with Mattel introducing the Masters of the Universe toy line in 1982, the rights holders sued Mattel, claiming the character was an infringement on the character of Conan. Mattel eventually won the lawsuit, and after legal agreements were dissolved, it was stated that the toy line was never intended for the Conan film. However, some Conan influence can be seen, as Roger Sweet has claimed to have drawn some inspiration from the paintings of Frank Frazetta, a fantasy artist with many works depicting Conan the Barbarian, when creating He-Man. In 1987, MOTU came to the big screen. Masters of the Universe was released theatrically in the United States on August 7th, 1987. It was a critical and commercial failure, grossing $17 million worldwide against a budget of $22 million. At the time of release, it was met with negative reviews from film critics, but is now regarded as a cult film. In the film, Skeletor has finally conquered Eternia after stealing the cosmic key from the locksmith Gwildor, allowing him to gain entry into Castle Grayskull and imprison the sorceress. The heroes He-Man, Man-at-Arms, and Teela are joined by Gwildor and escape to the planet Earth using Gwildor's prototype cosmic key. Stranded on Earth, they are faced with the task of retrieving their cosmic key, which has fallen into the hands of the unwitting humans Julie Winston and Kevin Corrigan, and returning to Eternia before Skeletor can gain full power of Castle Grayskull. Skeletor sends his minions to Earth with the mission of recovering the Cosmic Key prototype as the war between good and evil is transferred to Earth before returning to Eternia for a final battle between He-Man and a golden-clad godlike Skeletor in the film's climax. I'm sure you guys have seen this movie?
Of
Sure.
course.
Yeah, that's a no.
Mm.
Dolph Lundgren, man.
Dolph Lundgren was amazing as He-Man, and Frank Langella's Skeletor was, in my opinion, like Frank says, it's iconic. It was great Skeletor. I don't know how Jared Leto is going to follow this up.
I don't know how Jared Leto is going to follow up CKY with Brandon playing Skeletor. Have you guys ever seen? Tell me, Donnie, you've seen this.
I'm not sure.
Beastman versus Skeletor. Oh my god!
I don't remember it.
I can't repeat any of the lyrics. It's like a music video that CKY
Okay.
made.
All right.
And let's put it this way: there's an adult toy on top of his, staff or whatever.
I have
It's
the
a big
power.
purple
Yeah.
one. You can imagine which one. But yeah, it's like I thought we were gonna connect on this, Donnie, and now I'm just explaining something gross. But at least I think people at home are, if they haven't seen it, they're going to YouTube
They're
it.
going to Google it. Yeah.
Yep. Epic rap battle of history. Absolutely. Yes. Yep.
So the series faded for a few years before being resurrected in 1990 with the New Adventures of He-Man, trading in the prehistoric loincloth look for shirtless science fiction. He-Man, with a new, more slender appearance and sporting a ponytail, leads the heroic Galactic Guardians, while Skeletor, also with a completely new look, bases himself on the mutant world of Denibria, forming an alliance with Flog and his band of evil mutants, who are hell-bent on conquering Primus for themselves. After an unsuccessful attempt to revive the series, it would seem that He-Man and his friends would be stuffed in the toy box, only to be forgotten. That is until 2000, when Mattel would release a commemorative line of some of the figures from the original toy line. This renewed interest would spark a new toy line and an animated series taking He-Man back to his roots, but in a revamped and refreshing way. The toy line eventually died down, but other manufacturers were able to license other Motu figures in different styles. In August 2019, Kevin Smith announced at the 2019 PowerCon that he and Netflix were developing a new series titled Masters of the Universe: Revelation that will be a direct sequel to He-Man and the Masters of the Universe. On February 14th, 2020, Valentine's Day. Bummer. The full voice cast was confirmed, which includes Mark Hamill providing the voice for Skeletor, Chris Wood voicing Prince Adam and He-Man, Sarah Michelle Gellar as Teela, and Lena Headey as Evil Lynn. And if you know that name, you are a Game of Thrones fan. The series features many characters never before seen in animated form, such as Scareglow, Blast Attack, Andra, and Hero, incorporating a wide range of Masters of the Universe lore over its long history and varied incarnations. The first 5 episodes made its debut on Netflix on July 23rd, 2021, with the remaining 5 releasing on November 23rd, 2021. In June 2022, during Netflix Geeked Week 2022, a sequel to the series titled Masters of the Universe: Revolution was announced. I knew you would, Frank. I knew you would. Mattel began producing Masters of the Universe action figures once again, debuting the Origins line at San Diego Comic-Con in 2019 with a Prince Adam and He-Man 2-pack. The figures in this vintage 5.75-inch scale, but with more articulation, were designed to aspire to both adult collectors and children, with a retail release across the globe in 2020. The look of the playsets, vehicles, and figures, along with the packaging, is presented in the style of the original line from the 1980s and include all new mini comics. An idea that started in the 70s has now spanned almost 50 years with successful toy lines, animated series, comic books, video games, and one failed movie. I myself have loved this franchise since I was a kid, when toys were just a few dollars but brought excitement and joy that were priceless. He-Man, Skeletor, and their crew have accompanied me on car rides, countless baths, and a lifetime of memories. Have you ever raised a sword aloft and yelled, "I have the power"? If so, send us an email and let us know what your favorite memory is of the Masters of the Universe toy line, movies, animated series, or video games.
Nice. I think I was at that age where it was closer to kind of the end of the animated series in the 80s, and uh so it was like kind of falling out of favor,
Hmm.
but they were doing reruns of like He-Man um on TV. And so I would catch an episode here or there, and every time I loved it. And it's interesting. It's If you look at like Thundercats, right? Thundercats and He-Man are like really similar.
Exactly. Yeah.
If you like one, you probably like the other. And so that was kind of my introduction to Thundercats as a result of He-Man being on first, watching that, and then like Cartoon Network would then, or whatever channel I was on, would then play like Thundercats, and it was like this is like the same thing, just change the skin out, and I love both of them. So
Hmm.
this is fantastic, right? Sword of Omen, give me a sight beyond sight. It's
Thunder, thunder.
Yeah, I
so
don't know. I don't think you're a real He-Man fan if you're not rocking that haircut.
she's got a point. Like Prince
Ooh.
Valiant.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I'm just seeing a bunch of posers.
uh, Great. I'm gonna have to grow my hair out again. And I think the '80s offered a wide range of content for your cartoons. I mean, you had GI Joe, you had Transformers, Mask, Silverhawks, Brave
Yep.
Star, Jason the
Mhm.
Wheeled Warriors, Masters of the Universe, Thundercats, all of these different things that, like, if like there had to have been something in that line that you would have liked. If you didn't like the fantasy aspect of He-Man, like the barbarian-esque stuff, maybe you like the technological science fiction of Mask or Transformers. Who knows?
Right. And it was such a pivot from like the Hanna-Barbera stuff that dominated the 60s and 70s, right? Where it was all like kind of slapsticky, and like really baseless humor. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot of great cartoons out there that were made
Yeah.
in the 70s that were Hanna-Barbera. So I'm not like shitting on it necessarily. But they were all the same kind of formula, where the 80s came around, and you're right, like it opened up all these different genres. I mean, even anime made it to the US with like Speed Racer and stuff. And so um all of a sudden there was a lot more variety, as far as it's almost like they took kids a little bit more seriously,
Yeah.
it seemed like.
Hmm. Webhead says, my favorite memory of He-Man was me climbing to the top of the playground slide and screaming, I have the power with my sword. And then, or my dad's, sorry. Sorry, Webhead, did your dad climb up to the top of the playground? Yeah. Anyway, good memory in there.
No, he was climbing to the top of the playground slide and screaming, I have the power with my sword. And then a kid said,
That he was He-Man.
yeah. And I told her he was She-Ra, and my dad couldn't stop laughing. It's like, no, you're She-Ra. Shut up.
Get off.
Now, and all the countless stuff that the pop culture stuff that you had with these toy lines, like I remember with the sleeping bags, the pajamas,
Oh yeah.
the toothbrushes, the night lights, the piggy banks, the tents, the little sleeping tents that you could get. There's even a coveted little bouncy uh, battle cat, that like the little bouncy ride, like little horse thing on
Hmm.
springs. That is a highly coveted item, and a lot of Motu collectors would love to have those things, but they're very few and far between.
I think you should keep mimicking that bouncy thing while you're slowly stroking that cord.
See if I can do this. Yeah, I
See,
think I
if you
got it.
just listen to the audio version later, you miss out on all of this.
Peg Daddy. All right. Well, thank you for listening to episode 196 of Gamers Week podcast, and a big thank you to Retro Game Club podcast, Love Retro BTW, Pixel Pond Production Company, and absolutely the best podcast, A Work in Progress, for sponsoring this episode. Don't forget to check out their links in the show notes. And if you want to connect with Gamers Week, follow us on Twitter and Blue Sky at Gamers Week PC. Watch us right here on Twitch at twitch.tv/Gamers Week Podcast, where we record live every Wednesday at 8:30 Central Standard Time. And by the way, did you know .tv is actually for, I believe, the country of, I think it's Tuluvia or Tavulia? And they make most of their revenue based off of that domain. So a little bit
Really?
of tidbit information. Yeah. Email us at gamersweekpodcast@gmail.com. Visit our merch store at gamers-week-podcast.creator-spring.com, or do it if you want to do it the easy way, follow the link in the show notes. And last but not least, join us on Patreon at patreon.com/gamersweek. And you too will be able to vote on our top 3 new releases for the week. So finally, since you made it all the way to the end of the episode, please leave us a rating and review to let us know how we did. And we really value your feedback. And while you're there, consider subscribing on iTunes, Spotify, or your podcast platform of choice. Echo.
So
Oh my God, that was a core memory. The Chuck or the sloth, they're not down there. Sorry. Blue, you were saying?
no, that's okay. You guys went off the rails. Go ahead.
It was a mention of the Goonies,
I know.
which is
Yeah.
one of my
I know,
favorite
and
movies. So.
that's all it takes for you two to squirrel, and that's okay.
Yep. Just one little
4
sound.
years later, I'm used to it. I don't try to stop it or contain it. I just hold on for the ride.
Can't stop. Won't stop. It's bad.
Sign of a true sub.
You just hold on for the Oh, good Lord. So yeah, there's nobody that nobody's streaming right now. I was going to try and pick somebody, and on the main page there's live sumo with commentary, but also there's somebody sitting there. Like, one of the pictures for this streamer is what I can only describe as those punching bag balloons.
Yeah.
2 of those shoved right here. Like,
Can you make that hand motion again? Anybody want to clip that?
Yeah, we'll have a gif out of that by the end of the day.
This, not this.
Oh, well, yeah. Do it that. Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
the other way.
Somebody make a gif, please. Then we'll turn that into an animated emoji. Glaze of coffee's an interesting motion.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's gonna do it for us. Hang on, I'll post this in our Gamers Week chat for you guys to see what I'm talking about. Anyway, that's it for us. It's great to be back. I have yet to listen to last week's episode. Thank you very much, everybody, for stopping in tonight and hanging with us. We are 3 episodes short of our 200th episode, where we will regale you with the tale of how we all came to be.
Sit down, children, for the bard will tell you.
Whoa.
Would you like to hear about the Haradrim?
Oh man, I could do it in Deckard Cain's voice.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah. All right. Well, have a good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye.